Hola, hola, hola a todos. Es tu prima favorita, Bobby here, and welcome back to my channel. If you are not new here, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I am tu prima favorita, Bobby, and I just like to talk. And as I get ready to go enjoy the rest of this beautiful summer day where I just happen to be off work super early, I already have my bathing suit on, I'm already ready to go. I just wanted to take a moment and just talk about something that I was reflecting on. So I work as an associate director of middle school programs when I'm not dancing, but in my full-time career, that's what I do. I work with students who are going to be the first in their families to graduate from college. And I love it. You know, I work at the middle school level when they're first coming in and as babies, but y'all didn't come here for all that, so whatever. But we just wrapped up our summer program working with a bunch of young novice teachers or professionals, and I was just reflecting on today because it was their last week, our wrap-up week, and I think about this a lot when I think about the spaces that I'm in and the spaces that I occupy. And I probably have touched on this in other videos or in my TikTok. If you're not following me on TikTok, go follow me at Bob's the Builder. But just the fact that sometimes we can forget how much we really bring to the spaces that we are in until we are reminded by those people what it is that we really bring, or we take a second and we step back and we really think about what it is that we bring to that space. And what got me to really reflect about that was as we were doing our closing ceremonies, I had quite a handful of teaching fellows who, these are high school and college kids, right? And some of them are students within the program. So they've gone through the program, they've been, you know, students in it, and now they've come back to give back to that community as summer teaching fellows. And as they just reflect on their summer, they started to talk about it, and all of them echoed this, but talk about their experiences as students and how I was a big part of that. And not that I didn't know that before, not that they haven't said or mentioned that to me before, but it just really made me understand even more and be able to reflect even more so on what impact not only they have on my life, but that I have on theirs. I'm like, I'm just one person, and I feel like sometimes we shrink ourselves. Not that we should walk around and be like, I make things happen. Like, you should do that sometimes, and I do that sometimes. But sometimes we shrink ourselves down, or we don't think about how much we bring to a space, right? I don't always think about how me being in the position that I'm in, or in the positions that I have been in this job, working with these kids, like how much of a true impact. I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing something that I love. I'm just doing something that I'm passionate about. I'm just doing what I know how to do, and that's care, that's show up, that's serve. But when you really think about it, and when you really have those conversations and they tell you exactly how much it truly, truly means. I've had some of them like tell me that if it wasn't for the program, yes, but for me specifically as a person coming into their life at the time that I did, being who I was then, them being who they were then, like that they wouldn't have continued. Whether it be they wouldn't have stayed in the program, whether it be they wouldn't have gotten through middle school, whether it be they wouldn't have continued with school or with their trajectory of their career that they're going now. And it's just crazy to think of, like, I'm only one piece to the big puzzle of their life, but such an impactful piece. It's kind of like when you think about your own life, you think of all these different pieces. You think about your friends, you think about your relationships, you think about your mentors, the people that you've run into, the struggles that you've had, the good times, the bad times, yourself and others. And you think about how every single piece has its place. And even though there might be a small little corner piece or a small little piece off to the left or the right side, at the top right hand corner, whatever the case may be, how even though it's such a small piece, if the piece isn't there, the puzzle is not complete. If the piece isn't there, if the piece wasn't there, the puzzle would look rinky-dink. It wouldn't be finished. You wouldn't be able to see the bigger picture. And so really thinking at the fact that, yeah, I'm just one person, but my experience with you, my impact on you, or vice versa, your experience with me and your impact on me is a small piece of the bigger puzzle that is my life. You are a small piece of a bigger puzzle that is somebody else's life. And even though sometimes I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, you know, sometimes I'm just here so I don't get fined, but it's still making a difference. And I just really loved that they brought me back to that today, all this summer, really. Like, this summer has been a summer of reflection for me, because I've started to, I don't want to say gain the love again for my job. I've always loved it, which is why I've been here. But for the past couple of years, I had just been like kind of going through some things. And personally, I just wasn't really feeling the drive. And then last summer, I started feeling it more into working with my students this past school year. I started feeling it even more into this summer, where I think at one point I told my teacher fellows, I was like, y'all brought that back for me. Y'all brought that spark back for me. That pre-COVID spark that I felt was like dimmed down after everything shut down and we had to learn how to function again. Like, this feels like before COVID type summer. The bonds that they built this summer, the moments that they've cherished, the time that I've cherished with them, watching them grow up and develop over the summer, watching some of them since they were in 6th grade and now they're finishing out high school, or they're already in college, or I'm kind of aging myself here. But it's just a sight to see. And then for them to tell me how much of an impact that I made on them by just being here, by just doing my job, by just choosing to care, it means so much. And it just really put that in my heart that I just wanted to share with the world, or whoever's gonna watch this video, that you might not feel all the time that what you're doing is this huge thing. And sometimes you might, because maybe you work in a job like similar to mine where it's like everything matters. But even then, sometimes we don't recognize how much this small things add to the bigger picture. And if nobody has told you today, no matter what it is that you do, whether it's in volunteer work, whether it's just being an older sibling, whether it's just smiling or helping out a complete stranger, you are a piece in somebody's puzzle, no matter how small or how big. And without you there, it wouldn't pan out the same. The picture would not look the same. So if there's anything that I can leave you with on today, is just to know that no matter how big or how small, you are a piece in someone's overall picture, in someone's overall puzzle. And without you, that picture would not be complete. And that's not to put pressure on you or to say that you need to show up any type of way or whatever the case may be. You showing up as you are, choosing to care, choosing to be there, is just enough to shape someone's whole entire experience of something. And you might not even have any idea what that is. They might not even ever tell you, but just know that just as people impact your lives on a daily, for better or for worse, right now we're focusing on the better, know that you bring that to other people too. And if you are in a position in your life or a space in your life where you don't feel like you do that for other people, or you know that you don't do that for other people, I encourage you to start to look into things that you are passionate about, or things that you care about, or things that you may be on the fence about, and choose to care. Choose to show up. That doesn't mean that you have to be somebody's ride or die. That doesn't mean that you have to save somebody's life. Just a small impact count, whether it's a word, whether it's a text message, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a written letter, whether it's a word of encouragement, an affirmation, a smile, a hug, a pat on the back, a good job. Those are all small pieces to someone's puzzle, and even that interaction alone might shape the trajectory of their lives. Not to put too much pressure on you, you know, I'm not trying to do that. I don't want you to think, oh no, it's up to me to save somebody else's vida. It's not. But to just know that you are important, just as you are, how you are, who you are. and just rock with that. Like, let yourself be a piece in people's puzzle. You know, sometimes we get to the point where people are giving us too many accolades or compliments, and we kind of get like, all right, let's wrap this on up. I'm getting uncomfortable, I'm getting emotional, or whatever the case may be. Let it ride. Let it ride, because it means something to them that they're even able to share how much you mean to them. And if there's somebody out there that means something to you and you haven't talked to them in a while, you haven't said anything to them, you didn't tell them, you haven't told them how it is that they contributed or contribute to your life, go ahead, pick up that phone, let them know. You can send a little voice note, you know, a little nota de voz. You can send a little text mensaje, or you can do a phone call, you can write a letter. And if it's someone that you're not really speaking to right now, if that connection is worth keeping, figure it out and let them know how much they truly mean to you. But I'm not gonna be long-winded. That was just on my heart to share. Like, you sometimes may not know how much you bring to a space around you. And again, people might not ever tell you, but tell yourself. Be okay with allowing yourself to know how much you bring to the spaces around you, and to be, I don't want to say be prideful of that, but be proud of that. Be proud of yourself, of what you're contributing. And then also, like, be happy that if you do have people that contribute to your life in that way too. So that's all I have to say on this beautiful, by the time you're watching this, is going to be Saturday or later, but it's a beautiful Friday evening. Again, I'm about to go to La Piscina and get my feet wet and just enjoy mi vida and in just this knowledge and this love. And yeah, it's tu prima favorita, Bobby here. I will see you next time. Bye.